Meeting to order. This is the City of Gainesville Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearings for September the 8th, 2022. We are utilizing a new system this morning, so hopefully we'll keep this running straight. The first thing we're going to do is reduction and rescission request. First case is Special Magistrate number 2020-134, City of Gainesville versus Patricia Ann Daniels Life Estate. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may proceed. Please give us your name for the record.
Pete Backhouse, Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Gainesville.
Okay. You may proceed.
Thank you. The address of the property, Special Magistrate number 2020-134, address is 1231 Northeast 9th Street, and I am presenting. Parcel number is 10600-006-000. The owner of record is Patricia Ann Daniels Life Estate. Property zoned RSF1, and the information was obtained through public records and documents. This is the location of the property. You can see, Northeast 9th Street, Northeast 8th Avenue. It's just a few blocks north of 8th Avenue, right on 9th Street, right on the corner of 12th Avenue.
Okay.
On September 19th, 2020, Officer Norris conducted an inspection of the property, found the lot overgrown, abandoned vehicle, and blight. Notice of violation was issued for 13171B. As the violations were not corrected, the case was heard by you on the 14th of January 2021. Guilty verdict was obtained. Violation to be corrected by March 22nd, 2021, or a fine of $100 a day would be assessed plus the cost of $118.24. Property did not come into compliance until we were notified of it until it was fully cleaned up on July 14th, 2022. The fines accumulated to $47,800 plus the assessed costs, and the costs have been paid. On July 26th, myself and my boss, Director Andrew Persons, met with Janine Alexander, who I thought would be here this morning. She has a contract to purchase the property and a power of attorney for Patricia Daniels, who has not lived in the property for some time. She has been incapacitated and unable to live on her own. She is very elderly. Ms. Alexander advised the owner does not live there. She took it upon herself because she had an interest on this property to deal with the issues that existed on it. She expended a great deal of time and resources to have the property cleaned up. We actually my staff and I met with her out there on a number of occasions to provide her direction on what needed to be done. There's a huge amount of stuff on the property, and she spent thousands of dollars to clean it up, including getting a roll-off to have items removed. And we're going to recommend total rescinding of the fine. This was the condition of the property. With the abandoned vehicle and a little bit of the blight that was out there. There were also issues with the fence leaning, more blight that was on the property and it was overgrown, more blight in another part of the property, plus the backyard was full of stuff as well, and squatters had moved onto the property, were doing drugs, were living in an RV out of the back. It was just a nightmare property for the neighborhood. Oops, excuse me. Unfortunately, my PowerPoint updates are not in there. If we could go to the overhead camera. This is the condition of the property today. That was where the abandoned vehicle was. It's been cleaned up. Everything has been removed. The fence has been repaired. And this is the other side of the property. Again, all of the blight is gone and the property is in a much better condition than it currently was. Ms. Alexander currently has, like I said, a contract for sale on the property, and she is ready to purchase it as soon as we can resolve the fines that are against it.
So you're recommending rescission to zero?
Yes, based on the amount of effort that she expended there, everything that she did to clean it up and make it a much better property for the neighborhood, the fact that she's going to buy it and maintain it, we're recommending a total rescinded of the fines.
Isn't she's
Janine
family?
Alexander.
She's family though, correct?
She is not family. She found the property sitting there in that condition, and reached out and contacted Miss Daniels and moved forward with cleaning up. She does have a daughter who lives nearby in the neighborhood.
But she's not here this morning?
Unfortunately, she's not, which surprises me because she's been very involved with
It
this
sounds
case.
like she would be. I mean, it's a big investment not to,
She has a lot more photographs also of the condition of the property and the things that she dealt with, which she showed to Mr. Persons and I.
and so this is your recommendation? huh?
This is our recommendation.
Okay, I'll accept the recommendation and reduce the fines to 0 based on the payment of cost. Hold on though. No, I want to make it. I want to make it. I want to make it conditioned on the property closing and going to, what was her name again?
Janine Alexander.
To Miss Alexander within 45 days of today's date. If the property does not close, then the fines would be reinstated.
Maybe make it 45 days from the date that the paperwork for the lien being rescinded.
I'll agree to that amendment. Okay?
That should give enough time for it to clear.
And it's good that we don't just rescind it, right? It should be conditioned upon the property going into
100%. I'm giving recognition to the effort that was done to improve the neighborhood and the costs that were involved in handling it. And she's got extensive renovation that's going to need to be to the structure, so she's going to have to invest a lot more money in the property.
Okay. Okay. Then so ordered.
Thank you. I'd like to present my PowerPoint.
That will be accepted as Exhibit B to the record. I was going to announce that. I was going to announce that Special Magistrate number 2021-050, City of Gainesville versus Willis Howe is being
We're
continued.
requesting moving this to next month by request of the owner. He was unable to be here for the hearing today, so he requested to be on the October agenda.
Certainly, that's no problem at all.
Thank you.
Then the next matter is Special Magistrate number 2022-061, City of Gainesville versus Alan D. Latoya Jr.
Morning.
Good morning. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Thank you.
And please state your name for the record.
It's Officer Samantha Norris.
You may proceed.
So this is case 2022-061. Property address is 6017 Northwest 29th Terrace. Parcel number 06014-024-087. Owner of record is Alan Latola Jr. Property zoning is RSF2, and that was established by official records and documents. This is the neighborhood. He's going to be off of Northwest 62nd Avenue and Northwest 29th Street, over back in behind the Walmart Supercenter off of 441.
Okay.
On 12/13/2021, I received a complaint regarding an overgrown yard and a roof in disrepair covered with a large blue tarp. I attempted to make contact with the owner on that day with no response. There is active utilities connected at the home. The residence is occupied, and I did confirm the above violations on that same day. This picture is taken by myself on 12/13/2021 to show the condition of the property with the roof, with the large tarp there. This is going to be a side yard photograph of the overgrowth and the backyard photograph showing overgrowth. On 12/13/2021, I conducted an inspection at this residence in regards to a complaint about the back and side yards being overgrown and the roof being in disrepair for quite some time with a large blue tarp covering a significant section of the roof.
Is that year correct, 2021?
Sorry. Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yeah, sorry.
So it's been going on for a while.
It has, and I'll explain all that so you
Okay.
get a good idea. There was no initial contact, like I stated previously, on the first day with the property owner. So I issued a notice of violation with a compliance date of March 13th, 2022. Near the expiration of the notice of violation, I received an email from Mr. Latola requesting an extension for the roof. He stated that he had a general contractor that was going to repair it, but in his words, the contractor ghosted him, and he needed more time to find a new contractor. He did indicate that he had taken care of the overgrowth, which I did confirm that day. Mr. Latola was granted a 60-day extension for the roof. This was the ordinance that was violated. He was initially cited for the overgrowth and the roof, but the overgrowth was taken care of, so I removed that from the PowerPoint. The corrective action was to hire a licensed roofing company to repair or replace the roof on the residence so that it's safe, sanitary, weather, and insect resistant, and does not allow for any water intrusion into the residence. Remove the blue tarp, obtain any necessary permits prior to repair or replacement, and dispose of all extra roofing materials properly. So again, 12/13/21, the complaint was received. I confirmed it. Notice of violation was sent. First class and certified mail with a compliance date of March 13, 2022. Service was achieved by posting the property in City Hall. On 3/12/2021, received the email from Mr. Latola requesting the extension for the 60 days, which was granted. 6/29/2022, reinspection was conducted with no changes to the roof. Overgrowth was corrected. Request for hearing was made on the same day. Notice for the hearing was posted on the property in City Hall on 7/25/2022. On 8/23/2022, I rechecked this property prior to the special magistrate hearing that was supposed to have occurred on August 25th, 2022. The roof remains in disrepair with the blue tarp still attached. Overgrowth was still in a good state, corrected. This was the photograph from 8/23 showing the overgrowth and the partial for the roof. And again, correction on the overgrowth. The special magistrate hearing for 8/25/2022 was rescheduled for September 8th, today, 2022, due to unforeseen circumstances by city staff. I had contact with Mr. Latola and advised him of this date change, and he was also given proper service of documents for today's new hearing date. He advised at this time that he had obtained an engineering and proposed work agreement with Field and Engineering and did provide a copy of those documents to me. On 9/6, I had contact again with Mr. Latola via email, where he advised he was just waiting on his loan officer to finalize paperwork to have the funds to get the roof repaired. This was the photograph taken yesterday, still showing the tarp in place. He did provide the documents from the engineering group where he had made payment, as well as a copy of the engineering report. I have those here for you to see. I did not include those in the PowerPoint due to private financial information that is on here that I
Okay.
did not want to disclose to the public. But I do have those here
Do
for
we
you.
need to
see.
Does it need to be redacted in any way, that information?
Possibly. It includes some banking information. He sent these to me voluntarily, but I just would not like to put his banking information out there. Now, the copy of the actual engineering report does not have the banking information, if you'd like to see that.
Yeah, let me see that.
The other thing I'd like to note is that it's not just a matter of replacing some shingles or that. There was, the damage to the roof was from a storm several years ago, and there's some truss damage. So it's going to be a bit of a significant repair.
Okay. I'll introduce, it's not really a report as much as it is a proposal for services.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and admit that as Exhibit B
Okay.
to the record. And then the rest of do you have the PowerPoint presentation?
I do.
I'll admit that as Exhibit C.
Okay.
Is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent?
Mr. Latola had advised me that due to work issues, he was not able to be here today.
Okay. Are these your recommendations?
Yes, sir. Staff recommendations: adjudication of guilt, assess administrative costs of $128.02 plus all other costs accrued, allow 60 days to bring the violation into compliance. If not achieved, assess a fine of $25 a day.
I'll
Can I make one more statement? I'm sorry to interrupt
certainly,
you.
now go ahead.
Because of the significant amount of repair that needs to be done, I do feel like he has been responsible about staying in contact with me to let me know the process he's going through. 60 days might be a little shy of what he needs, honestly. Now, for transparency, I do want to say on the record that the complainant also has been checking in regularly with me about the status of this case.
Yeah, quite candidly, I was more inclined to go to 30 days and let him come in and explain what he's done. Because it really, in this market, it can be a challenge to find people to do this kind of work and the repairs, and I understand it's expensive as well. But there obviously is a significant impact that it's having on the neighbors and so forth. And that really coupled with a failure to keep the yard going and so forth, I understand that that's been corrected now. It just strikes me that, and of course he's not here to respond, and he hasn't even provided any written response or anything of that nature. I mean, it concerns me that we're just giving him additional time instead of the real encouragement that perhaps he needs. So so one of the neighbors is calling and checking regularly?
So the neighbor has a rental next door, excuse me, the complainant has a rental next door to Mr. Latola. And she's concerned that because of the tarp, that she's not going to get satisfactory renters in there to her rental unit.
Yeah, I can understand that concern. Okay, so nobody here on behalf of the respondent. Then I'm going to adjudicate the respondent guilty, assess the administrative cost of $128.02 plus all other costs accrued. I'm going to allow 40 days to bring the violation into compliance. And as is normal with this process, if he needs to come forward and ask for a reduction or rescission, he can come forward with the work that he's done, the phone calls that he's made. He can come create a journal that's responsive so that we understand that he really is making an A+ effort to get this issue resolved. Very first thing I pointed out on your PowerPoint was this is going all the way back to January, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my position. And if compliance is not achieved within the time provided, assess a fine of $25 a day.
I'll let him know, sir.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I'd like to enter this Exhibit C.
That's admitted as Exhibit C. So, the next case is going to be Special Magistrate number 2022 2022-107, City of Gainesville versus J.P. Morgan Chase Bank National Association. Is this a landlord?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll take it out of order. We're gonna save Mr. Hamilton for last.
Okay.
You may do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Bill Collector Heather Palmatier.
You may proceed.
The case number is 2022-107. The property address is 222 Southeast 13th Street. The parcel number is 11641-0000000. The owner is J.P. Chase Morgan Bank, and the zoning is U3. The rental permit application was not returned. Utilities have been under the name of Bridget Lewis since 3/28 of 2007. The ordinance violated is the rental landlord permitting ordinance. The case timeline is on 4/28/22. Notice of violation was sent to the owner via certified and first-class mail with a compliance date of 5/15/2022. On 5/25/22, payment was received for the rental permit. However, the self-inspection checklist that was submitted was incomplete. Everything was marked as NA. I called the contact, Mike Leroy, and advised that we could not accept the checklist with it being incomplete. He then spoke to manager Pete Backhouse and stated that they currently do not have access to the property because they're going through an eviction process with the current occupant. Mr. Backhouse placed the property on hold while they worked through the process. The tenant was supposed to be out of the property at the end of July. On 8/8 of 2022, I spoke to Mr. Leroy, and the tenant is still occupying the home, so Mr. Backhouse stated we had to request a magistrate hearing. On 8/16, I re-inspected the property and found the violations had not been corrected. As a result, I requested a magistrate hearing. On 8/16, service for the notice of hearing was achieved by posting the property in City Hall. Staff recommendation, adjudication of guilt, assessed administrative cost of $165.79, plus all other costs accrued, 10 days to bring the violation into compliance. If not achieved, assess a one-time fine of $250.
Is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent? Seeing no one, I'm going to follow staff's recommendation. I'm going to adjudicate the respondent guilty, assess administrative costs of $165.79, plus all other costs accrued. I'm going to allow 10 days to bring the violations into compliance. If compliance is not achieved within the time provided, assess a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Exhibit B is admitted to the record. So everything else remaining is Mr. Hamilton. And so which one do you have? Am I missing it?
I think it's mixed in with the Hamilton property.
Oh, I do see it. Sorry. Didn't mean to leave you out. Next case will be Special Magistrate number 2022-055, City of Gainesville versus Ellaby Leonard. And raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Officer Lorenzo Jones, Code Enforcement.
Okay, you may proceed, sir.
The special magistrate case number is 2022-2255, address 304 Southeast 17th Street, investigated by me, Officer Jones. Proper information, parcel number 11690-0000000, owner Leonard Ellaby, property zoning U3, ownership established by researching official public records and documents. The property is on 17th and 3rd, off of Hawthorne Road. I'm actually going to request a continuance on this property. It's because he just received his demolition permit from the city. It was received on the 25th of August. So it was delayed due to the city delay in the city process. But if you like me, I'll continue to.
Okay. So you're requesting a continuance at
Yes,
this
sir.
point? And tell me again, though, what is he doing to bring the property into compliance?
Right now, he was waiting on a demolition permit because he has to. It's a demo for the home.
The complete demolition of the
Yes, sir.
property. Can I see a picture of it?
Yes.
And that's the shed that's going to be torn down?
That's the house.
That's the house.
Yes, sir.
And they're tearing down the entire house.
Yes, sir.
Are people living there?
No, sir. There's no power. It's just he moved into another apartment. He's a disabled man.
Is it occupied? I mean, do you have any kind of vagrants or anything that are staying in it?
No, sir.
So it doesn't appear to be, and it's not boarded up though, correct?
No, sir. The damage inside won't allow it to be boarded. The whole floor just is collapsed in, and
How long has this been going
since
on? May?
May.
Do you have a position on this, Mr. Beckhouse? Doesn't necessarily thrill me.
Thank you. Your Honor, because he did get the demolition permit and he is in the process of correcting this, I am not averse to continuing the case pending him doing the demolition and completing the work. This obviously got his attention that he needed to do something with the property, and as you can see from the condition, the remedy would not have been worth the investment to try and repair the structure in its current condition. So he's getting rid of the problem by demolishing it, which is ultimately what we want.
Has there been any indication, guys, about how long it's going to take him to get the job done? And yeah, I understand he's got a permit. Do we have an idea of how many days it's going to take? And is there some reason why he's not here?
No, sir. He got notified.
Officer Martin, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Okay. State your name for the record.
Todd Martin, Code Enforcement Supervisor. Demolition shouldn't take more than a week. I'm not sure if he had a contract. I know the permitting process is taking up to 60 days to get the permits for the demo. So the getting the permit could have taken probably from May till, I'm not sure the exact date of when he applied for it, but they're taking 60 days to get right now.
60 days to get
A
the
demo.
contractor on site to do the
to
demo?
get the permit issued.
But the permit has been issued.
Yeah, it got issued. Usually, depending on the contractor, within a couple of weeks from getting the permit, it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to get them to the job site after it's issued.
So is there any harm with me establishing, say, that the demolition is to be completed within, 60 days or 45 days, is what I'm thinking?
That's your prerogative.
And I can hold cost and other daily fines, and if he is able to get the building demolished, I mean, it looks like to me it needs to go. It looks like to me it's a danger. It looks like to me it's a problem for the neighborhood.
There is certainly no harm in doing that. Again, it may provide him more encouragement to make sure that he follows through on the process. We wanted to demonstrate that we were ready to move forward with the case. Just at the last minute, he came forward with the application for the demolition permit, so we wanted to make you aware of it.
Well, now, but I'm clear, it's not just an application for a demo permit. He actually has received a demolition permit, and we have that do we have that in the record anywhere?
Yeah, it's in, he received it on the 25th of,
But we don't have the actual permit that he was issued?
no, sir. It was, he received it. I don't have a copy of it, no, sir.
Well, do you have your penalties already lined up?
Yes, sir.
The-
So my staff recommendation was adjudication of guilt.
I mean, see, you got $100 a day, so you were considering this to be pretty serious too.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he wasn't. Okay, so I'm going to cut him a break, but based on the representations of staff. But is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent? Let me make sure the record's clear on that. I'm ready to rule on this, and what I would say is I'm going to adjudicate the respondent guilty. I'm going to assess administrative cost of $99.33 plus all other costs accrued. I'm going to allow 45 days to bring the violations into compliance, which would be the demolition of the building. And if compliance is not achieved, assess a fine of $50 a day. And if compliance is achieved, then I will eliminate the payment of cost of $99. So if he can get this building demoed within 45 days of the entry of the order, which is effectively like 60 days, then he won't owe any administrative cost or fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I think that hopefully gets rid of what I perceived there, just based on the photographs, as being kind of a dangerous building and an attractive nuisance.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. I will advise him.
thank you.
I would like,
Exhibit B is admitted to the record. Thank you. Okay, now the only thing remaining is Mr. Hamilton's cases. And so I'm going to read these off the record. We're going to, in effect, consolidate all these cases. And we will address them. I'm thinking that there'll be a uniform assessment on each of these. And so we should be able to get through this large list. So I'll read these off for the record. First one is Special Magistrate number 2022-065, City of Gainesville versus Lawrence J. Hamilton. And then I'm just going to read the Special Magistrate case number because they're all Lawrence J. Hamilton, City of Gainesville versus Lawrence J. Hamilton. Next case, Special Magistrate number 2022-066. Special Magistrate number 2022-067. Special Magistrate number 2022-064. Special Magistrate number 2022-099. Special Magistrate number 2022-098. Special Magistrate number 2022-097. Special Magistrate number 2022-096. Special Magistrate number 2022-095. Special Magistrate number 2022-062. Special Magistrate number 2022-076. Special Magistrate number 2022-077. Special Magistrate number 2022-078. Special Magistrate number 2022-079. Special Magistrate number 2022-081. Special Magistrate number 2022-082. Special Magistrate number 2022-083. Special Magistrate number 2022-084. Special Magistrate number 2022-085. Special Magistrate number 2022-086. Special Magistrate number 2022-089. Special Magistrate number 2022-090. Special Magistrate number 2022-091, Special Magistrate number 2022-093, Special Magistrate number 2022-094, Special Magistrate number 2022-068, Special Magistrate number 2022-069, Special Magistrate number 2022-070, Special Magistrate number 2022-071, Special Magistrate number 2022-072, Special Magistrate number 2022-075, Special Magistrate number 2022-074, Special Magistrate number 2022-073. And that is all of those cases. So. Tell us what those are about.
The landlord rental housing permits have not been obtained. So the recommendation, I have paperwork where all the utilities, the only thing that's different is the utilities, people under the utilities, and the addresses and parcel numbers. The recommendations are all the same, the posting information is all the same. And the recommendation is adjudication of guilt, assessed administrative cost of $157.59, and a one-time fine immediately of $500.
What's the maximum fine? $1,000?
$1,000.
And it's the position of the city that it cannot be a per day fine. It's a one-time fine on the landlord permit issues. I just want to note for the record that this has been going on for more than 10 years.
Since the existence of the landlord licensing permit process, which
Okay,
was
so-
about 20 years ago.
So there are a lot of landlords that are out there that are in compliance with the requirements of the city of Gainesville, which are unique in that in the way and measures that they protect the tenants. And we have a citizen that has never been in compliance, who has extraordinary fines levied against them, and we don't seem to be getting any kind of compliance. And so I hope that the city will ultimately do something. This has gone on long enough. This should never be allowed to occur for this length of time.
Yes, Your Honor, and we do have a plan for dealing with this. Things are in motion with the city attorney's office to resolve the issue.
Okay. So on every one of the cases that I called out and listed, I'm going to find Mr. Hamilton guilty. I'm going to assess on each of those cases cost of $157.59 plus any other costs accrued. And I'm going to assess a one-time fine of $1,000 on each of the properties. I believe that's what I set last year when he didn't pay, and maybe even perhaps the year before that. So I want that to be $1,000. Now, it strikes me that there could be room for repeat violations and other things, and I will tell you that if I felt like I had the kind of discretion, I think that there's enough fines with the years that have gone by against Mr. Hamilton that this is going to be an extraordinary problem for him if, in fact, the city forecloses or does whatever is necessary to enforce those fines.
Your
But
Honor,
I would gladly go and double that if I thought that this would fit under the repeat violation.
Your Honor, because this is a new ordinance that just went into effect October 1st, 2021, we feel like we're basically starting over because it is not identical to the landlord licensing process. And if we have to come back again next year, these will be all repeat violation cases.
Yeah, I don't want to impede, I don't want to go crazy here and impede the city's efforts. So I want to make sure that we are well within the structure of the ordinance
So-
at $1,000 per case.
There is also a provision in the ordinance where permits can be revoked. Since he's never gotten a permit, we can't revoke it. but we may seek authorization for him to file an injunction with him to vacate the premises of renters until the permit is obtained.
I like that. I hope the city will avail itself to whatever tools it
And,
has.
and you would give us authorization to do that on each of these cases?
Well, I don't know that that's been present. I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable in providing that today,
Okay,
but I would certainly, rule upon any motion that was appropriately brought on each of these cases.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I think it would be appropriate just because I think the fairness of, the numbers of landlords out there that are complying with this, and we have one that just refuses and is getting away with this year after year. I've got a deep abiding problem with that. I guess you've got the box there, so all of the records for each of the cases that were identified, those files and documents are admitted to the record as Exhibit B to each of the cases. And so you have the pleasure of dealing with those. I'm sorry, say it again. So this is kind of your call. Let's have you go back to the mic. So you provided me with a list of each of the addresses and the parcel numbers, tenants for each of the properties. And these coincide with the cases that were identified.
Yes, the
earlier.
PowerPoints.
And so you're requesting that this be
Exhibit C.
Exhibit C, but we would need to make it Exhibit C to every one of the cases.
Correct.
Now, we really only, and okay, so this list will be attached as Exhibit C to each of the files, and you can do that through the computer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there anything else to come before the magistrate this morning? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.